All right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Mic check. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Can you hear me? We hear. I have one. Can everybody else hear me? We hear. Fantastic. Hello. David, hello. B. John, hello. Viper, hello. Hellcat, hello. You can hear me. Awesome. Mic check fixed. Sweet. Well, let's get some camera action here going. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hi. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Can you believe it's already Friday? This week flew by. I mean, I guess that's kind of what happens whenever you're, working on bugs all day, every day, and fixing stuff, right? I'm fantastic. I'm doing great. Doing okay? Hey, okay is better than not okay. I'm glad you're doing okay. That's awesome. Glad everyone's having a great day. Well, I don't want to keep you guys waiting because we have some really exciting stuff to talk about, and we've got some patch notes to go over. Patch notes for a patch that is dropping today for everybody. We're also going to be taking a look at the Abyss biome, as well as the exterior surface of the Abyss. So we're not just going to dive right into it. We're actually going to go explore the depths. We're going to explore the trench. We're going to check out some really fun POIs, some very fun tech caves made by our level designers and devs. And I've got a couple tames. I got to show you guys. Some tames that I might already have at my base. Waiting to say hi to everybody. Some tames that I think a lot of people in the chat, as well as those in the Discord, have been asking and wondering, how do I acquire this specific tame? Where do I get it from? Some tames in which those that weren't tameable at first, maybe they are. So we're going to dive into those. We're also going to learn how to make, and bear with me here, we're going to make worm gum. Yeah. That's a thing. So apparently so many people are fascinated by worm gum from yesterday's stream. We had to include it into a how-to segment for everybody. As well as some PvP-related information that I think some PvPers are going to really enjoy hearing. So without further ado, I got it up on my screen here. Let's talk about this patch coming out, guys. So I'm going to skip through a couple things. You guys I'm sure you've already read in previous patches. To give a little clarification as to why you are seeing repeated information, such as here the discussion of the streams, the discussion of Tuesday's patch released on the 22nd, things like that. It's because you never know who's going to see this patch and it be their first discussion board on Steam. Right? Some people could be coming into this and trying to get insight on Aquatica, and they haven't been up to date or kept up to date with the previous patch notes. So we want to make sure that we're being as transparent as we can with making sure we're sharing the important information throughout each patch. That may sound like it's rinse and repeat, such as the streams, such as the current list of mods that are now working, the fix to put pre-Aquatica on, things like that. We want to make sure that people are able, like newcomers to the DLC, are able to see those notes as well as what's coming up that's new in that specific patch note. So if you're wondering why is it always like a repeat or a loop for certain paragraphs, that's why. Okay. So we're going to get into this. So obviously on Tuesday, we released an update. It included a fix for loading mods. This fix for loading mods is still currently and actively being worked on and developed. We had a list of about 25 mods that we were confirmed working and fixed that were playable in the main branch for Aquatica. This list will continue to grow, and we will continue to push out what mods are now confirmed fixed in future patches as we progress through continuing to fix Aquatica. So it's not going to be just one set end all be all patch that's going to be able to fix it all. This is going to be working in increments. All right. Same with the FPS and level optimization, which we are pushing that out today. We have another wave of level optimization solutions being pushed out to you. I'm currently playing on our test branch where we're testing all of these bug fixes, including the FPS and optimization solutions. And I can say that compared to yesterday's stream when I was running the Crystal Caverns yesterday, I was averaging about 20 to 25 frames with a couple huge lag spikes there. You guys can go review that VOD. It's available to the public. Today, I went to the same spot with my Megalodon tame, and I was averaging 35 to 40 frames without any lag spikes. I had maybe one lag spike that was only to load in a world chunk that was in front of me. So there is progress, right? And you will continue to see progress in additional waves of optimization solutions as we push out continued patches, okay? And I'll have my FPS stat out for you guys to see as well on the stream so you can see what it's looking like. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see the full thing. I'm going to go to record screen, so I'm not going to be on camera. I want you guys to see everything. We've addressed issues where players are falling off the map when crossing big pools of lava. We have fixed some of the mesh holes in a lot of the lava pools that players were finding. So keep in mind, this is still a work in progress fix. As we continue to go forward, there's still a lot of mesh holes. We're covering a lot of ground though, day by day. So expect to see more updates and more patch notes related to mesh hole fixes as we keep pushing out updates, okay? A lot of these updates you guys are going to see are going to be continuous throughout the different patches in the update cycles. So, yeah. We've also started an initial fix for issues with dinos and ships disappearing. Again, this fix, while we are pushing the initial fix for it in this patch today, we are still working on this to ensure that it is stable and that players are not experiencing this issue going forward as they progress and continue to play Aquatica for the foreseeable future. So we're still working on that, but we are pushing out that initial fix to you guys today regarding the dinos and the ships disappearing. Let's talk about Vulcanites. Oh. Got to turn off my Slack here. 1 second. There we go. Don't need to see updates coming out there. Notifications interrupting the stream. How rude. Vulcanite updates, including the ability to ride tamed Vulcanites. We have a tamed Vulcanite available at our base that I'm going to show you guys here in a second. Oh, I'm here. My camera's just not on, so. Stream keeps freezing then unfreezing. Looking pretty good on my bit rate here. Hang on, I'm just going to check. Okay, looks like it's good on my end. Try refreshing if you need to. So yes, Vulcanites that are tamed you are now able to ride the Vulcanites. And I have one as an example I will show you guys whenever we get into the game. We've also included a fix for the overspawning issue of dinos in specific sections of the level. This is not included in every section. We're still working grid by grid and piece by piece of the map to make sure that the overspawning issue for dinos is no longer an issue. So expect to see additional updates on that in future patch notes. We've also moved the boss dossiers. So originally, the boss dossiers were just in the notes section. We've now, you can now find the dossiers in the Guardian category of the UI. So small UI picks there. We've also included patch versioning as well. Now let's talk about some issues that they're not being pushed in this patch. However, they are on the list, the priority list in the pipeline. First one, all of you in PvP, you've been asking, when are we getting tech armor? When are the tech turrets coming? When are these other select tech engrams coming? It's on the board. All right. We have it on the board. It's in the pipeline right now. We will have more information regarding an ETA of when they'll be included at a later date. Right now, again, we're We're trying to work things out. We're trying to find the best approach to get them included to the game for you so you can start adding those to your arsenal, okay? But that is been brought up. That is being addressed by the team, all right? It is on the board. So have no fear. We're also investigating server cluster transfer issues. We have been notified. We are aware of the numerous reports of server transfers breaking or clusters not being available. So that is being investigated now. You'll continue to see FPS and level optimization fixes in the coming patches. And we're going to be continuing to address areas where players are falling off the map when crossing big pools of lava. So like I said recently, regarding the pools, we are pushing out a fix where we have fixed quite a few in this upcoming patch that's dropping today, but we still continue to work on those. So expect to see updates on that in future patches. Along with the FPS and level optimization, we are also addressing the rendering and mesh popping issues in the level. I did explain this in a previous stream. In the first push that we made for the FPS and optimization fix on the 22nd of this month, you will notice that there will be some assets and meshes that will be popping into frame within close proximity. That is something that we are continuing to work on and address to make sure that the popping issues doesn't happen. So the only reason why you're seeing that is because when we did find an initial fix to help with player stability and optimization, some of the popping in came with that. So we are working to address that fix. As well as issues with the hydrosphere. I understand that there's players that are still encountering some issues with the hydrosphere, as well as the bug with infected barnacles, not being able to put them with your dinos. Again, continued dino spawner updates. So as we go through the map today in this patch, you'll see in specific sections of the level, you will see some overspawning fixed for dinos, whereas in other areas you may still see issues. We are continuing to address that. The Linux binaries missing is also being addressed as well. We're still actively working to find a fix for that for Linux players, as well as vehicle updates in general. So situations or issues with the raft, essentially skyrocketing players and flattening them to the top of the map and the map bounds. We're actively working to fix that, as well as issues with the Stinger and the motorboats. Additionally, there's also been issues where settings for players continue to reset after each patch or update. We have that on the drawing board as well to actively work to find a fix for. I get annoyed by it as well because my ears get deafened the second I turn on the menu and I just get my ears blasted with the soundtrack music. So we are looking for an active fix for that. And then lastly, Explore Note location updates, as well as the UI. You may notice that if you come across an Explore Note, it may pop up in the wrong UI slot when you go to the Explore Notes tab in your menu. That is something that is also being addressed as well. And then lastly, here are the times that the patch will be pushed out. This will require a server downtime of about an hour to official Ark Aquatica servers. There will be a warning, about a 15-minute warning for all official servers. So for players who are in those servers, you will see a 15-minute warning regarding this update push. That was something that we recently pushed out on the patch on the 22nd. All of this will be available now on the Aquatica Steam page, so you can actually find these patch notes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and post a couple links for everybody as well, if you guys would like to have this link for later. So, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin this message too. So, message will be pinned and will stay pinned there. So if you guys need to see these patch notes and want to review them yourselves, you can now find them available. All right. On that note, that kind of covers today's patch that will be dropping. Are there any questions that you guys have? I've got my notepad ready. I think we're going to go into our Q&A segment now. And let's start talking. I'm going to take a sip of my caffeine real quick. Is there anywhere you can see which mods work? In a recent patch, in the patch on the 22nd, we have a list of those mods that are active, that are confirmed working. If you go to the status updates page in the Ark Aquatica Discord, exclamation Discord in the chat, by the way, and it will link you to the main page, and you can go find that patch. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for you guys. When will Ark data and uploading dinosaurs be out in official servers? I don't have a direct answer on that. If there's any admins, or excuse me, any devs from the team in chat, could you please answer that question? There will be other developers that are watching the stream as well as active in the chat. So if you see anybody with a moderator status with them, that's going to be one of our devs as well. Let's see. Let me go up here. I don't know where to find Cucumis or Ori Rays. Do you know how to get those? So Cucumis seeds, you can actually go find around the starting islands. If you go around those, the rivers where you see a bunch of lily pads and everything, you can find plenty throughout those rivers, as well as rice seeds as well. Let's see. Patch is live already? Oh, well, sweet. Patch is live already, so you guys can actually go download this patch right now. Are Tech Rex saddles also in the pipeline? Great question. Can I get... Jammy, if you're in here, if you haven't answered that one yet. Can you talk a bit more about mods and how the team and Siren are doing overall? We're doing fantastic. Thank you for asking, actually. Everyone has been working very hard, working around the clock. We've kept a very positive attitude going through with this as well. Everyone at Studio Siren, just like these streams and just like how we're communicating with you, not only through the chat logs here, but through the Discord and doing these live streams, these dev streams, everybody is very passionate about pushing out these fixes and these updates for the players and for Aquatica to make it something that is stable, that is functional, and something that is a unique underwater experience for you to enjoy in Ark Survival Evolved. We're doing fantastic. And then specifically, what about mods? Or you want to ask about? Posted a tribe recruitment. I'll go check that out after the stream. Is there any way I could get an Aquatica shirt like the one you were wearing the other day? Jamie, do we have those available? Are those available for people to purchase? Will Harpoon Net's whips ever come in as additions to the game? That's a great question. I'm gonna write that down. I can explain how to tame a rift crawler. I can show you guys a rift crawler. So I don't want to waste too much time through the stream to try and get a wait for one to spawn, because they do spawn all throughout the map. And so I do have one ready to go, and I can explain how to tame one for you. Paper Logger, thank you so much for that. All right, let's do a couple more minutes. Do 2 more minutes of Q&A. If not, after that we can actually move on to our Abyss deep dive. David, that sounds like a great opportunity. David said, I want to make a YouTube video with Dev from Sirens to ask a few questions. Any Dev want to collab? Let's get some clarification. Let me get clarification from my leads, and we can ask about that and see what happens. Is there a stream tomorrow? There will not be a official Dev stream. However, I will be playing Aquatica in my free time over the weekend. So if anyone wants to come hang out and watch some Aquatica gameplay, no cheats, no creative mode, fresh start, it'll be over the weekend. So I highly encourage everybody to come hang out. Time and details will come later. For now, let's focus on today's stream. Let's focus on the Dev stream and dive into some fun stuff. All right. That being out of the way, it's been a couple minutes. Let's go dive into the Abyss. What do you guys say? Shall we go check out the Abyss finally? I think we shall. Let's get back into the game. Right. So I've got some friends here with me. Let's set time of day, though, so you guys can see. I've got my little friend Checkers, one of my our tamed little rift crawler, level 31. Ah, thank you. Switch cams. I recently set up my stream deck to get all this back into play, so I don't have to manually go through it. I'm still getting used to using it, so thank you, chat. I appreciate that. Can you see it now? Can you see Checkers? Everybody say hi to Checkers. This is Checkers. He's a fast boy. Meow. So this is Checkers. Okay, so people have been asking, how do you tame a rift crawler? How do you tame a rift crawler? I saw somebody in there was like, I hit it with all these tranks and nothing happened. Well, you don't use tranks when you're taming a rift crawler. First off, how do you find a rift crawler? Where do they come from? So the rift walker, once a rift walker spawns, rift crawlers will then begin to fall from the claws of the rift walker itself, and then they sink to the bottom of Aquatica. So pay attention to the lower region of the rift walker itself, and then you'll start to see the rift crawlers start spawning and then dropping to the surface. Now, how do you tame one? You don't use tranks, you got to use brute force. Basically, you're taking a club and you got to knock it out. You got to knock out the crawler, and then after you knock out the crawler, that's when you can begin the taming process. What is a rift walker? A rift walker is a massive behemoth island-like spawn / dino with element on its back that you can actually hop on top of to then extract that element. That's what a rift walker is. You'll see these giant red streaks all throughout the world. And those red streaks can sometimes spawn a rift walker. And trust me, you can't miss it. You really can't. It's massive. Absolutely massive. Tried that too with a mantis. With a mantis shrimp though, absolutely has to be player whacked. Can I get Jamie, can you verify on that? Asking about the Rift Crawler, does it have to be player whacked or can they use the Mantis Shrimp? I believe they should be able to use the Mantis Shrimp, if I'm correct. But if you could clarify on that for me. Bree2122 was asking. Everyone playing official can't join server post update, all stuck on Primal game data. Is that on your official server? And is anyone else experiencing that issue? Mantis Shrimp just did damage. Okay. Alright. Let's go take our Vulcanite out for a little spin, and let's go explore the abyss in the depths. Before we go down into the abyss, you can ride the snake now. Yes, this is my little friend Vulcanite here. You can now tame and ride the Vulcanite. So the snake is rideable. Now, for those who are not, who don't have the info regarding what some of these structures are or may do, you might start to notice that on my screen, this device is starting to glow red. It's starting to turn on. Something's happening. This is actually a rift portal. And these rift portals, when they activate and they turn on, much like the rifts you see spread out across the entirety of the Aquatica map, the rift portal acts as a rift event where dinos will spawn out of it and you can acquire loot from it as well. We have a really fun animation sequence of when it boots up. It takes quite a minute, so I'm not going to sit here for too long. But if we happen to catch it in mid-activation, we'll come back and watch. But the depths in the trench and then leading down into the abyss are more of your late game biomes. A place that you can choose to start in if you wish. However, it's not recommended because if the pressure doesn't kill you in the game, then the dinos throughout this entire area are going to do it for you. The rift is going to be a random timed event. Did he level up? Let's level up your movement speed. There we go. Ride him around for a little bit, and then eventually I think we'll come off because we do swing a little bit faster. We also do have creative mode on. I think there's actually a rift that's starting right now in front of me. Yeah. You start to notice that blue lightning. That's not a flicker on my screen. That's actually one of the rift events that is spawning. So when you see things like this happening throughout the world, if you're geared enough and you have high-level tames, highly recommend doing these rift events so they can get you some pretty good loot. But outside of the abyss, the depths and the trends offer a wide variety of resource locations and fun base building areas. This trench being one of my favorites because it's open down the center. You have plenty of resources ranging from your crystals, crystallized wood, mushrooms, thatch, wood, everything you essentially need to have a fully functional base down here. And you're also close enough to other resources just above the trench to allow you to create aquilarium to then power a hydrosphere. So if you want an air dome down here. There's also a really, really cool we're gonna go visit the Megastar. Has anybody here seen the Megastar yet? Did you get inspo from Pacific Rim with the rifts? Did we get info inspo from Pacific Rim for the Rifts. Wow, Peter Piper picked up Pepper. Good lord. That's a...
Oh.
I don't know what happened there. I think my dial-up internet speed in my brain just shut off for a second. Sorry. Alright, we've ridden our Vulcanite friend here long enough. Let's go ahead and let's fly around. You'll notice in the top right, again, I have the FPS stat on for you to watch. I'm actually getting between 45 to 60 frames consistently going through these areas. I was mentioning, too, about the Crystal Caverns having the 20 to 25 frames yesterday. That has since been increased. While it's still around the 40 to 60 frame limit, it's still progress, right? So as we continue to push out updates, expect to see more patch notes regarding the FPS optimization. Oh no. Oh no. Is the Megastar gone? Jammy? Is my star gone? Huh? Uh-oh. Megastar's gone. That's not good. Megastar moved. At least I'm pretty sure he did. Hold on. Got to get like extra. Is he like popping in? R.I.P. R.I.P. Megastar. They'll return. Megastar will make a return. I swear. Do the Dossier and Explorer notes have voice? No, they do not. What could this thing possibly be? Well, it's in the name. It's mega. Now, what's a star shape that's underwater? Well, since we can't go see Megastar, we might as well go check out one of the tech caves. What do you guys think? You guys want to go see a really cool tech cave? Let's go check out a tech cave. So this tech cave was created by one of our very own Kel'Thuzad. So if he's ever in the chat, Kel, go and give everybody a wave. And it is quite the cave. Colorful, loaded with resources, aesthetically appealing. Best strategy to beat the Volk boss fight. I haven't created a strategy of my own yet, but once I get more into doing the biome guides as well as fighting the bosses myself, might see some strategy guides come out soon. This is another location where there are active explorer notes. Matter of fact, I think we're coming up on one right now. So while some areas may not have a accessible door, let's see, am I in the right one? Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. Always check around these little cubbies and these little hidey holes and nooks and crannies of the map, because you never know what you might find. Let's see, are you in here? Nope, not in this one either. How are we feeling about the cave overall? What do you guys think of the aesthetic? Ah, here we go. There we go. So, much like this spot, across the entire map of Aquatica, you will find set dress locations like this for these explorer nodes, and there's roughly 60 explorer nodes for players to locate and find throughout the entirety of Aquatica. So be on the lookout. Some are hidden, quite frankly, in plain sight, while others are a little bit more harder to find. They're everywhere from the shallows, the starting islands when you spawn in, maybe even on the volcano. They're located all across the boiling sea, in the abyss even, near some of the dungeons. They're all over this map. All right. Let's go back out. Are there level up point checks like in Evolved? Jamie, can I get an answer for that one? And we're actually coming out at another Explore Note location. So, right after, and the far entry point of this tech cave, if you come straight out, you'll find 2 rusted columns with a bit of a flat, barren spot. But way back in the corner, you can find a little campsite with a journal entry. Will Reapers be tameable? Abyssal Reapers, like the Queen Abyssal Reaper, will not be tameable now. Ooh, we got a rift going right now. Right above the abyss. Is it possible to go back and read? Yes, it is possible to go back and read. I'll actually show you. At the moment, they are not in order. So this is something that's been addressed, and we are actively working to fix this to make sure everything's in the correct lineup in the UI. But you can go back and you can read these notes in order. So. Will Aquatica creature information be added to the Dota decks? Having a hard time finding information about taming these creatures. Jamie, Jamie, think you'd be better for answering that one. To get the dossiers, I'm assuming you have to tame them. Actually, no. So, and some of the locations, also throughout the map, the dossiers are their own note that you can also find. Some dossiers will be located next to an Explorer note. For example, there is one. I'll actually show you the note itself. I believe it is Cato entry. It's Cato entry 9. Where are you? 9. Here we go. Yeah, so Cato entry 9, when you come across this one, which pay close attention, by the way, to the depiction, what you're seeing in the illustration, because that is a clue of where this Explorer Note is located. Something that we try to do a little bit differently with Explorer Note locations is try to set dress them and put them in locations that match the portrait that is being depicted in these notes. So, for example, that Explorer Note that we saw outside of the Tech Cave is actually a depiction of the Tech Cave entrance that we just came from. So, little things like that, little clues, right? This one specifically, it looks like, you know, our character Cato, he is in what seems to be an abandoned pearl structure, an abandoned structure from the Thalassians in this environment. And he looks like he's trying to repair it, use it as essentially a roof over his head, right? A home. So, all I will say is, for this one, keep an eye out in the shallows. Keep an eye out in the shallows. Alright. Are we ready to go into the abyss? Who's ready to go into the abyss? Let's go. Ready? All right. Let's dive into the abyss. We're not really going to be diving. Because watch. The abyss itself is actually its own air pocket. So you're able to run around on foot. And this is the abyss. Let's go check it out. Actually, just to be on the safe side, just make sure we're good to go. So one of the things about the abyss is that you'll notice it's very neon, right? Very bright with neon-like colors, violets, blues, very bright oranges. And so in this area, what we tried to do was create a sense of guidance for the player to make sure that they're not getting lost, or you're not getting lost as easily throughout here. And one of the ways that we did that was to identify, essentially cut the abyss down in half, right? Sandwich method. On one side, you have a lot of these nice violet colors, hanging foliage, hanging vines, right? That are very red, purple, violet, things like that. And on the opposite side of that, you're gonna have a lot more of these orange hues, which you'll see in a minute. To kind of help identify, you know, which side of the abyss that they're on. Are they near in the far side that's more towards the boss location, or are they on the near side at the entry point? So just something to keep in mind whenever you're exploring down here. If you ever get lost, look at the ceiling. There's multiple layers to the abyss as well. Right now, we're going to go down to the ground surface, to the river. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to jump down here. Go ahead and put my Thalassian rifle away, so you guys can get a nice clear view. It's kind of cool almost seeing the ocean above you, knowing that like you're underwater in this biome, but you're still able to breathe. And really from, you know, the ground floor, the abyss looks much larger than it actually is, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead. Let's just follow the river. Sprint out of here. Let's go up to one of the second floors here. Is there a specific reason Abyssal Reapers are unobtainable? Jammy Egg. Could you answer that? Jamie would have a better answer for you than me. right, that's a scene. So, like I mentioned before we dove into the Abyss, there's going to be a very distinct difference in which section that the player is in from the far side versus the near. In the near side, you know, we talked about there's a lot of the hanging vines, a lot of the purple and red hanging neon foliage, whereas as you start to get to the far side, you're going to notice a lot more of these orange hues, orange crystals, and abyss-like structures and architecture. And here in a bit, as we continue, we're going to go check out what we call the heart of the Abyss. Anybody here been to the heart of the Abyss yet? I don't know, have I? Well, if you haven't, you're going to be there here in a second. Everybody here is going to experience the heart of the Abyss, which we're actually coming up on right now. This is the heart of the Abyss. So, ideally, what this is doing, this heart, it acts as a source of power. If you noticed earlier on the Rift portal, there was a long circuit, almost like a wire, leading into the Abyss. The power is drawn from the heart to then activate and turn on the Rift portal. Viper guessed it. Wow. Look at that. There's also a few explorer notes around this location. There might be an explorer note in and around the heart of the Abyss itself. But this is also a nice guiding factor for players because once you arrive here at the heart of the Abyss, you can actually go beyond that. And this is what's going to take you to the final boss dungeon entrance. The final boss obelisk, if you will. Hi, friend. Which we're gonna go check that out. How are we feeling about the Abyss? Mushroom jump. Gives aberration vibes. Oh yeah. More T-Rexes. Oh, there's plenty of T-Rexes down here. Don't worry. You'll find Abyssal Rexes. All sorts of fun stuff. Now, the Heart of the Abyss is not going to damage you. You aren't going to get shocked, anything like that. That's not going to be an issue. So you can go up to the Heart of the Abyss. You can go interact with it. As I mentioned, you'll encounter a few explorer notes down in the Abyss, one of which being here by the heart itself. Which one is this? This is entry from Cato, entry 27. So I mentioned earlier that what we tried to do differently was take the explorer notes and put them in locations that offer, you know, that match the depictions or the portraits that are in the notes. That was 27. And there you have it. So, Explorer Note 27, near the Heart of the Abyss, discussing the center of the corruption on this arc, discussing the Heart of the Abyss. Just something to add additional storytelling, create a more immersive experience for players, because when designing this, one of the biggest things that we kept in the back of our mind the entire time, not only while trying to find a balance for both sides of the community, PvE, PvP, you know, making sure that this felt like a extension of the Ark universe, but also create more of an immersive environmental storytelling feature. We're gonna go check out what lies beyond the heart. Something lies in the distance here. We're gonna check out what's here. And now I can swim again. So, for those who have not experienced the boss battle, without spoiling it too much, no, it is not going to be a boots on the ground fight. You will be swimming again. And this is where you initiate the boss fight itself. Maybe next week we'll go through the boss dungeons. How does that sound? Sound like a fun time? Go check out the bosses. What do you guys think? And much like this boss fight and other boss fights where there are more areas to explore for the player, the final boss area does have additional points of interest for you to go and explore. So rather than just finding the pedestal, activating it, and going and fighting the boss, we've added additional rooms and locations throughout our dungeons for you to go and get more of a immersive story experience as well. Really embrace the different aesthetics and environments for each boss and what they have to offer. Some of these may end up in a dead end, right? But sometimes rooms with dead ends tend to offer something for the players to find. Oh, my mouse is dying. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Luckily, we're heading towards the end of the stream here, so I can get my batteries. Like another Explorer note. Let's see, which one is this? Do you guys want to see entry 28? Should I show you guys entry 28? What Dr. Wise is talking about? Let's see what Doc Wise is talking about in entry 28. She too's talking about the element of the Heart of the Abyss. So, some notes that you will find throughout the world will have the similar subject matter, such as the Heart of the Abyss, but what it's doing is now it's getting both sides. It's getting both views, both perspectives from each character, right? So, while some of the notes, very few, will be in areas that might be farther from the portrait or the location that they're depicting, they'll still line up with what type of story they're trying to present, right? Because we want to try to share a story from two different perspectives of two different characters. We have a doctor, Dr. Ingrid Wise, and we have Cato. Dr. Ingrid Wise, who's fascinated through research, Ark Tech, Element, the infection around here, whereas Cato is more about survival. He's a hunter. Cato is someone who would much rather, go the strategic, simplistic route for fighting versus, not so much care of research or things like that. And you kind of, you get that characteristic emotion from them as you progress in these Explorer notes. But on that note, that in its entirety is the Abyss. What do we think? Which biome do you like so far? Which one's your guys' favorite that you've seen in the streams? You like the Abyss? You like the Boiling Sea? The Crystal Caverns? Are we Shallows fans? Hard to choose. Abyss, coolest area. Volcano and Abyss are favorites. Alright, now time to find where I had my base. Pretty sure I was over here. Aha, here I was. I like the safety places, so you like the shallows, basically. Crystal is impressive, too, though. The Crystal Caverns is really fun. It is a lot of fun. It is definitely one of those that, from an initial standpoint, you know, you're going through these different caverns, and if you're not paying attention to the walls and your surroundings, you're going to miss a lot of the other openings and caves and routes for players to take. But if you pay closer attention and you kind of hug the walls, right, behind the crystals, you may find a nice little fun spot to put a base in or explore an artifact cave even, right? Is there going to be a way to get blue gems for Karki saddles? Jamie, do we have an answer for that as far as the blue gems? Worm gum? Yes, it is. It is worm gum. Don't worry. I didn't forget the worm gum. I promise. I promise. The worm gum is coming. I'm actually going to go back there. Oh my goodness gracious. You guys are you guys are all fascinated about the worm gum. Give me 2 seconds though, guys. I'm gonna get my batteries so that way that my mouse isn't dying on me every 2 minutes, because it seems like the batteries are starting to run out. So give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna put my BRB sign on. 2 shakes. Alrighty, I'm back. Bad news, everybody. I couldn't find any AAA batteries. So, unfortunately, I had to use a wired mouse. That's okay, because it helps to have, 5 spare mouses on standby in a junk drawer. All right, let's talk about this worm gum. So, what do we need to craft some worm gum? Well, you're going to need a couple things. First off, you're going to need a cooking pot. Make sure you have one of those built. Next, you're going to need some water. You're going to need a skin pouch, which make sure I've got one on standby. Get a water skin. All right, I have a water skin. Now we're in water, so I'm gonna just refill my water skin. And then from here, what you're gonna need the following ingredients. You're gonna need earthworms, you're gonna need rare flowers, you're gonna need seaweed, and then you're gonna need honey, okay? Specifically, you need about 10 seaweed and 10 earthworms. Now that's pretty easy to find. We can go underwater, we can go find seaweed. You're gonna need earthworms. Earthworms you can find all over the starting islands. So we're gonna go swim up, we're gonna get some earthworms here in a second. I've got some rare flowers, and then I do need to go get some honey. Let's see, where is my vault of goodies? There you are. All right, where's my rare flowers? So we're gonna get you. I'm gonna need some wood, obviously, to and seaweed. There we go, seaweed. Got 103 seaweed. First, let's get our wood, let's get our seaweed, let's get our rare flower. Now we need to get earthworms, and then now we need to go get some honey. Let's see. Let's go get the earthworms first. It's kind of dark. There we go. We're just gonna zoom up here real quick. Neo. Let's go find our earthworms. Have you checked into the lobster's body disappearing and not being able to farm it? Jammy, have we looked into that? All right. Earthworms, 82. Let's get about 100 earthworms. Now all we need is honey. Oh, hello, little mud puppy. Can you show us a good silica pearl location? I absolutely can. Let me make some worm gum, because everybody's been fascinated about worm gum for some reason. We all need to go make some worm gum. Oh! Whoa! I'm a ghost. Well, this is unexpected. Awesome. What about this one? I can. Oh, lordy. Massive. Cool. Can we get a clip of that, please? And thank you, chat. That would be phenomenal.
Can someone on the team hop in and put a bug report? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Get a fix for that. Want to get a fix? Mud puppy? Yeah, mud puppies are fun. They're cute little critters. This is another one of my favorite spots to explore. But be careful, though, because this isn't the most safe environment. But I highly encourage you all to explore it. Please, by all means, explore this area. And then send me the clips of you exploring this area. That'd be phenomenal. Let's just speed up down here. Woo. Now I know why I put my base here. Because there's a light, so I know where to go back to for my base. So we've got wood. Oh, that's right. I need crystallized wood. I don't have my hydrosphere. Yep. All right, now we gotta go find crystallized wood. Which question was that again, Starry? Sorry, I didn't see it. I know where some crystallized wood is. It's down here. Let's see. Some crystals. Where's the wood? Give me the wood. All right, well, I do know where we can go get wood. Go back to our friendly neighborhood crystal caverns. There we go. There's some wood. Ton of wood right here. There we go. Crystallized wood. That's what we need. So, to answer your question regarding the official servers, our team has no information or knowledge about other official servers for other maps. We are exclusively on Aquatica and the official servers for Aquatica. That's the only info we have. can go make ourselves some worm gum. Worms. All right, do we have everything in? Let's let her cook. And now we wait. Water? Yeah, you might be right. I do need some water in there. Thank you, Bree. And now we wait. Did I put sap in here? We might be waiting for a while because that's sap, that's not honey. Yeah. Jammy, can you hook a dev up and give me the cheat spots for the honey? I'm late. What was the update for? You use honey instead of sap for making worm gum. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about worm gum. He wants to show where honey is on map. Yes, you're absolutely right. Northwest Islands. Okay. Let's speed over. You're probably going to see some frame drops because I'm flying now. Ooh, there we go. All right. Ooh. Ah. I went so fast, I flew into a rock. Woo. I'm glad I have God mode on. I would have just splattered into that rock. Just hear a... All right, Northwest Islands. You said I could find honey. Let's fly. Yo. We do have a list of high priority issues as well as known issues. They're also in the patch notes. You'll notice in there it says on the pipeline or in the pipeline for the patch notes. That is what is being addressed. We don't have a fix for it just yet, but it's what we're working on. You know, Jamie, when I said, you know, can you give me the cheat spots for honey, I was kind of hoping you would drop some chords indiscreetly. But it's fine. You're making me do work. I see. It's okay. No, it's all good. I'm just giving you a hard time. In the meantime, it gives us an opportunity to explore the Northeast Islands too. Will there be a channel added in the Discord for the new consumable recipes and what they do? We hadn't talked about that, but that's actually a fantastic idea. That'd be fun. I'm sure we can get that in. Skill issue? Yeah, okay. Okay. Sure. As if I wasn't the one who was helping, you know, resource gathering and build bases while you were getting mauled by gators all the time. But it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. I know where I stand. Totally get it. It is very hard to find honey. But let's actually speed up this process. Could you drop some chords so I can go to a specific spot and also have it shown on screen for players to see? So I'm sure you guys would love to see a good source of honey without me having to do a scavenger hunt for it. And you drop the chords publicly too in the chat if you want. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go through. I'll read the tribe requests. I probably won't do that on stream because I don't know what's all in them. You know, gonna make sure that they're family friendly. So yes, I will go through and I will read them after the stream. All right, we're just gonna do this. There we go. Look at that, I found honey, everybody. All right, let's fly. There's a way to have both the pre and post installed act at the same time. As far as I'm aware, no. Jamie, could you answer that, though? All right, now we can finally make some worm gum for everybody here to stop asking about, because everybody's so fascinated and fixated on worm gum. And now we wait. Not for long. Because now we have some delicious, tasty worm gum, which is rolled up worms and flowers to create a delectable bait for fish used for fishing. Or, if you're like Fender for the win here, used for chewing. Because apparently he likes chewing worm gum. As well as other people here. That's worm gum in a nutshell. Worm bubbles are the best. Okay, Fender. Okay, now I'm getting concerned. All right, everybody. So that went a little over the time, but I am going to stay on for a couple more minutes if you guys want to do a Q&A and chat. What do you guys think of the Abyss? What do you guys think of that little deep dive exploration? Would you say that tops your favorite biome you've seen so far, or do you have a favorite one? I know somebody said they liked the safe biome. Who's excited to get a tamed Vulcanite? Or now that you know how to tame a rift crawler, who's going to be having an army of rift crawlers? Everyone wants a rift crawler. You want to see a Vulcanite? Oh, you can see it in this stream. It will be published live, so it will be. You're able to go back and rewatch that. But yes, Vulcanites are tameable. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. any info on what dinos you can take into a Volca boss fight. I do not have that information for you. Jammy might have a better answer for you there. Do I have a YouTube? I do, actually. Exclamation YouTube in the chat. Yes, they are writable now, too. You're going to find all of the previous streams for Ark Aquatica. All of these dev streams are going to be available in their raw, uncut form for you to go back, rewatch your favorite moments. Go check out the Abyss if you want to see it again, as well as other biomes we explored. This one will be public and available later tonight. If you are in the Discord, there is a server ad where I have a document of every single VOD and their dates of when they went live. So I will be posting this as an addition to that list as well. If you're not in the Discord, exclamation Discord in the chat, and you can join it there. On that note, this concludes our dev stream for Ark Aquatica. Thank you guys all so much for coming out. I hope you guys are very excited about this patch that has dropped now. You can go update your game now and play it today. I hope you guys enjoy the deep dive into the Abyss, as well as some of the tames and the worm gum recipe. Now you all can go make your infamous worm gum. Next week, we don't have any set plans for dev streams. I will be speaking with the team in regards to what's next. However, if we decide to continue the developer streams into next week, I think we ought to go through and check out the bosses and their arenas. What do you guys think? Sound like a plan? Check out some bosses, check out some other tames. Maybe do a fresh wipe towards the end of the week? Because by that point, we'll have really explored almost the entirety of the map without spoiling too much for you. We'll have seen the bosses. So I think after that, it's really about just playing the game. Sounds like everyone's on board for that. So I will have more updates and info for you most likely next week regarding the streams. So if anything comes up with that, keep an eye out in the Discord. Nobody leave yet. We have something we have to do. We always do this at the end of these streams. We're going to go find somebody who's playing Ark Survival Evolved, and we're going to go raid them. Now, I have a request from you, the viewer. When we go into this raid, I want you to share the love. I want you to go in, give this person a follow, no matter who they are. I want you to go in, all caps, swell raid, give them some hype, say hi, chat with them for a bit, talk Ark with them, and overall, have a great time. And on that note, let's go find someone to raid now. Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? Anyone here playing Ooh, I see someone playing Aquatica. All right, crossShadow_lol. We are going to go raid crossShadow_lol. They're playing Ark Aquatica. Everybody, again, go in, give them some hype. Give them some love, give them a follow. And until next time, this concludes the first full week of the Aquatica dev streams. Hope you guys enjoyed these. I hope you guys continue to enjoy these. And I hope we can continue doing these streams going into next week. So everybody, we're going to go raid in 3, 2, well, if the raid will pop up. Hold on. There we go. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Later, everybody.